Hey, how's it going? It's Ollie here. So first of all, very warm welcome to Ollie's e-commerce Q&A group. So by the way, if you're watching this video outside of the Facebook group, maybe on my YouTube channel or on my website, then I've started a new Facebook group. And the idea is that you ask questions in the group, and every day I'm recording a video where I will answer some of the questions. So if you want to join the group to get your question answered, just click the link below this video. And if you're watching this inside the Facebook group and you have a question that wasn't answered today, just comment on this post and I'll do my best to answer it in one of the upcoming videos. So today we have several questions from new members, and I wanted to give you guys some help and some advice. So first of all, we got a question from Paul Rae. So John says, test batch sales complete. So first of all, massive congrats, man. So if you've been following my stuff for any period of time, you'll know that I'm a huge advocate of doing a test batch, right? When you're importing a private label product. So what a lot of people do in the beginning of their journey is they'll launch their first product, they'll do a load of research, find a great niche, and then spend like $5,000 on an import from China because they want to customize the product. They want something that isn't offered currently, and they want to differentiate. So they think, well, I've got to spend a load of money and launch this product. But John knows that that's a bit of a risk, and it could be much more beneficial to start with a very small order, see if the sales go well, then launch the product. So John's done this, which is incredible, and he says all 40 of the test batch products have sold. So nice work, man. That's incredible. So now you feel confident, right, to go on and order more products. He says, however, I don't have any reviews yet. I'm now at the crossover stage of, do I reorder, launch the product, or do I wait for reviews before making the leap into a reorder? So this is a great question, right? Because you do want reviews on your product. It's social proof. When a customer sees that other people like the product, then they feel more safe buying the product as well, right? So it will increase the conversion rate on your listing. So there's a few things to consider here. First of all, the process of reordering your product takes time, right? It's not going to happen instantly. So you actually have some time now to go out there and get some reviews. So what I would do is proceed with the reorder right now, okay? And before you do that, make sure that you've done all of the calculations to make sure you can make a profit on that reorder. So take all of your expenses, right, for selling one product, deduct it from the highest selling price that you sold the product for, right, and make sure there's some margin there. Then go ahead and place the reorder. And in the meantime, message all the people who bought your product and ask them to leave a review. Message them multiple times, and also get friends and family to buy the product and leave reviews as well. Preferably people who have a different surname and live in a different address to you, because then those reviews will get approved. So that's what I would do. Proceed with it, but get the reviews as well. Reviews, it's like pulling teeth. It takes a long time on Amazon. Most customers don't leave reviews, so it will take a while to build up, but over time you'll get more and more and more. That's why when you see sellers who have 400 reviews on their listing, you know they've been selling that product for like a couple years, and that's why it indicates competition. Great question, John. So we've got a question from Siddon, who says, how do you get a product launched and ranked for consistent sales? So this is a great question. Right, so Carl's currently in the test batch phase, I know, because he's a client, right? And he wants to get his batch of stock onto the Amazon Marketplace so it just sells, right? And it consistently sells. So the big aim for all Amazon sellers, like the big thing we're aiming to do with every single product, is get to page 1. Like, this is what we want. We want to get to page 1. Why? Because then when someone types in the keyword for your product, they see it right there on the first page, right? People will scroll up and down page 1 until they find the product they're looking for. Not very often that customer will go to page 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So the question is, how do you get your product to page 1? Well, with a test batch, it's very unlikely you will organically be on page 1, right? Because you don't have enough products to build the momentum, to get the ranking, to get your product up there. However, using pay-per-click advertising, you can get an advert for your product on page 1. So what we try and do generally is spend as much money on advertising as we can till your product gets so much sales that it organically moves up the ranking to page 1. Right, that's what we'll aim to do. And usually you'll make a loss on the marketing in this process. You won't make a profit during this process because you're putting all your resources to get the product to page 1. And in the UK, because the niches are a little bit less competitive than the US, once your product's on page 1, generally, it will stay there. Right? It won't be too hard to maintain the sales. So that's what we want to do. Spend a load of money on pay-per-click advertising and get your products to sell. If you've done everything right, if you've got a great niche, if you've differentiated, if you've offered something really, really valuable to that niche, then it will sell, right? As long as the listing shows off how good your product is, it will sell. Let's have another look. So, got a question from Shinandri. Hopefully I've pronounced your name correctly. Shinandri says, I want to source out new products which are not on Amazon at the moment and products that are not from China for a change. So, great question, and I've had a few other people ask a similar thing in the past. So the first thing I would ask yourself is like, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to source products that aren't on Amazon currently? And why do you want to source products not from China? I would hazard a guess that the reason why you want to do this is because you want to do something different to what's on the marketplace already, and you want to do something different to what everyone else is doing. There's a little bit of a problem with the way you're trying to be different though, right? Because we want to source products that are on Amazon, right? Or niches that have been proven on Amazon, right? Because if there's a demand, if there's a niche that's working right now, if there's examples of sellers getting great sales of the product, it proves that you're going where the money is. Right? If you try and source products that aren't on Amazon, that haven't been proven yet, then you're going into uncharted waters. We don't know whether people actually care about that product or not. So I wouldn't aim to not find products that are on Amazon. I would aim to enter into a niche on Amazon that does work, but try and do something different. Which brings me to the second part of your question, which is, how do we not get stuff from China? Well, China's proven to be one of the best places to source products. So if I were you, I wouldn't make things overly difficult for yourself by not wanting to source from China. I mean, if you think about it, there are hundreds of thousands of factories across China, all offering very, very, very different things. And even if everybody ordered their stuff from the same supplier, there would still be variations that you could create with your product. Slightly different design. You could bundle it with different stuff. You could brand it differently. There's so many things you could do differently. Where you order the product from it kind of doesn't make any difference. In fact, the customer doesn't really care where you order the product from. All they care about is whether the product solves the problem it's supposed to solve or not. So I would completely forget where you're sourcing the product from and just focus on serving a niche that has a lot of demand, but for some reason there are gaps in the marketplace. And then find the products wherever you find them. And China's probably your best bet if you want lots of cheap stock. Good question. Suja says, hey Ollie, I've noticed my products selling on eBay by eBay sellers. What is your advice on this? What should I do? Should I make them take the listings down? So this is so funny because before I sold on Amazon, for a few months I had an eBay business and I was doing the exact same thing that those sellers are doing, which is drop shipping. So I would take products that are selling on Amazon and I would list them on eBay, and when the customer buys the product on eBay, I would ship the product from Amazon. I'd just buy it as a customer from Amazon and ship it to the eBay customer's address. Right, so I was doing exactly the same thing that these eBay sellers are doing with your product. So this is the incredible thing when this happens. This has happened with my private labels as well, and it happens all the time. It's free marketing for you. Right, so what this means is eBay sellers are creating listings, right, with your product, and they're getting those listings ranked, so they're getting people to see the listings, right? So when people type in the keyword for your product on eBay, your listing will show up, right? Your product will show up. Then they're buying your product for you and shipping it to the eBay customer. In other words, you're getting free marketing for your product. So in no circumstances would I tell them to take it down. The only chance where I would ask a customer to take it down or a seller to take it down is if something is negatively affecting your customers on Amazon. So if they're doing something dodgy, or if they're, you see loads of orders from the same account and they're all asking for returns, in that circumstance I would ask to take it down. But in this case, you're getting free marketing. I mean, that's the best thing ever. It's like someone taking your product, running them through a market and saying, who wants to buy these? And then giving you a cut. It's an incredibly good position to be in. So yeah, I would leave it and encourage more people to do the same thing. All right, so I really hope you enjoyed today's episode of Ollie's e-commerce Q&A. And if I didn't answer your question, then please comment on this post if you're in the Facebook group already with your question, and I'll do my best to answer it tomorrow or on an upcoming video. If you have any follow-up questions, then comment below as well. And if you're not watching this inside the Facebook group, then there should be a link below this video to join the Facebook group and you can get your questions answered too. All right, thanks so much for watching today, and we will speak very soon.